scary, actually. Our business is right over here, and it's right in the downtown. We never expected it to be happening over here right near,
A Brampton law firm targeted twice in a matter of hours.
The office, the scene of a shooting, followed by a suspected arson. A lawyer injured in the violence. Good evening. We begin tonight with new details about a shooting last night in Brampton.
CTV News has learned that a defense lawyer was shot in his own office building. He suffered serious injuries, and now that office has been targeted in an alleged arson attack. CTV's Raheem Ladani joins us live from George and Queen Street West in Brampton with the details. Raheem.
Nathan and Natalie, good evening. Police are being very tight-lipped about this investigation. They have not commented at all about today's fire. Police, though, are still on scene. Officers have been here throughout the day. We've also been speaking with a number of residents who live in the apartment complex on top of the law firm. They tell us they were woken up early this morning. Boxes of files and computer equipment that appear to be burned can be seen through the shattered window of this law firm in downtown Brampton. It's the second violent incident in less than 24 hours after a shooting early Tuesday evening.
I feel bad for the lawyer, and this is crazy. The fire this morning, yeah, it's scary because look at us. We're living right underneath this.
A source has confirmed to CTV News the victim who was shot is Manbir Sodi, a criminal defense lawyer. His name is on the outside of the building. Peel police responded to the area of Queen Street West and George Street North just after 5:30 p.m. Tuesday. Paramedics transported one person to a trauma center with serious injuries and later said his injuries were non-life-threatening.
When I heard a couple of shots being fired over here, we heard that, and we were first of all thinking like it was maybe a car back shower, And when we came out, we were seeing a couple of kids running around, and then there was a guy running outside. It was all crazy mess.
Police have not confirmed any details about the fire. However, residents who live in the building above the law firm say they were woken up in the early morning hours.
Around 2:30 a.m. in the morning, I heard like there's a fire alarm, and we just went downstairs and saw that this law firm has been fired down.
Security cameras are attached to the outside of the building, which police will review as part of their investigation. At this time, no motive surrounding these incidents has been made public, and police have not released any information about suspect descriptions. Reporting live, I'm Raheem Ladani. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Raheem. Police have identified the victim in Toronto's 23rd homicide of 2025. Investigators say 30-year-old Akiba Fraser of Toronto was gunned down around 5 a.m. yesterday near Osler and Davenport Road. Police say early information suggests the shooting may have been targeted. They also called it brazen, noting it happened close to the 11th Division Police Station. Detectives have not shared information on a suspect or suspects, but they're urging anyone with information to get in touch or contact Crime Stoppers.
Also tonight, hot on the trail of suspects in an arson investigation. 2 restaurants targeted within 24 hours, and it was all caught on camera. We'll show you the surveillance footage just ahead.
But first, to the debate over the effectiveness of automated speed cameras.
Aimed at slowing down drivers, do they actually do the job? That is the focus of new data released today. This, the City Council considers easing up on how tickets are handed out. CTV's Beth McDonnell joins us live with the details. Beth.
Natalie, speed cameras can be divisive in the city. This one behind me on O'Connor was recently vandalized. But tonight there's new information showing these speed cameras can actually change driver behavior. Cut off from its base on O'Connor just west of Coxwell, the automated speed enforcement camera seems to have vanished. It's another example of these cameras being repeatedly vandalized around the city, even though new data finds the extra set of eyes is having a positive effect on how people drive.
Over time, it is starting to nudge drivers in that right direction and starting to change behavior.
An online CAA survey of 1,500 Ontarians found 73% reporting they slow down when nearing a camera, 52% saying they're unlikely to speed after passing the zone, up 8% from 2 years ago, with 46% admitting they avoid roads with the cameras and therefore a possible ticket.
Sometimes just that one ticket can really be that reminder to be cautious of your speed.
City data shows tens of thousands of tickets are being issued. Between February and May, the most ticketed location being on O'Connor, with nearly 19,000 tickets, followed by Avenue Road, Mortimer, Blythewood, and Victoria Park. There are times drivers are being issued multiple tickets before they've been notified about their first offense, and now City Council is looking at a report to give more leniency to first-time offenders.
It's not always the right location, potentially, where they are, and sometimes I find that they're a little bit sneaky about where they put them. But overall, I find that I'm driving slower.
I think they're absolutely necessary. It doesn't matter what speed you were going, even if it was 5 miles more than the speed limit.
Some decision makers are betting greater transparency will also lead to better behavior.
Let's make sure the sign's big enough that you can't miss it. And then if we can notify them faster, then they wouldn't have to get 2 or 3 tickets back to back.
It's when they don't know that there's a camera. It's when they don't know that the speed has changed, that they're just simply getting ticketed. And then, getting a $150 ticket in the mail is very onerous.
Wednesday afternoon, crews repaired the camera on O'Connor, so it's ready to ticket people driving over the speed limit once again. City Council is expected to look at the issue of first-time offenders with respect to these speed cameras tomorrow. Reporting live on O'Connor, I'm Beth McDonnell. Natalie, back to you.
Thank you, Beth. Still to come on CTV News, should buses stay in their lane? The push to prioritize transit on Bathurst and Dufferin. The City Council vote on the polarizing plan. Just ahead.
We have more news in a moment, but first here's a check on the forecast and a live look at the city. A lovely looking summer evening, good patio weather, but there is a heat warning on the way for tomorrow, so keep that in mind as conditions might be a challenge. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay.
Nathan, here we go again. We knew the humidity was going to be making a comeback, and it will in a big way for tomorrow. There's a look at the heat warning from Toronto, right around the Golden Horseshoe and into Niagara. This is warning of humidex values anywhere from 40 to 44 for both Thursday and Friday. It's still, it's already quite warm up out there. 27 degrees this hour, feeling like 31 at Pearson. We made it to 30 degrees in Niagara Falls today, and it's feeling like the mid-30s in that part of Ontario and across the extreme southwest. Winds once again today have been coming out of the southeast. It's been a lovely breeze, another beautiful day filled with sunshine. Things are going to change a little bit into the day tomorrow with we see an introduction to the potential for showers and the risk of thunderstorms. That's tomorrow night. This evening, though, is looking great for your plans. Maybe you're headed to a ball game or a concert. A little bit warmer than it was last night, but clear skies. There's tomorrow. 34 degrees will feel like 42. And again, this is going to be a multi-day heat event. Coming up, we'll give you an idea of how long this one is going to last. But for now, Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Toronto City Council is moving forward on a plan aimed at easing traffic congestion in our city.
After much debate, it has approved a plan to add dedicated transit lanes on 2 busy arteries in the heart of the city. CTV's Sean Leithong joins us live from City Hall tonight with the details. Sean.
Well, Natalie and Nathan, Mayor Olivia Chow this morning was talking about how along Bathurst and Dufferin Street, there's about 75,000 people who use that daily for the TTC. About 22,000 actually use their personal vehicles. They said when they're in gridlock, the TTC is often late and they want to prioritize moving people forward. Priority TTC lanes on major streets north-south along Bathurst and Dufferin will be a reality.
I support rapid TO dedicated bus lanes. I support more transit to get people moving.
Toronto City Council voting to move forward today in order to have the lanes installed in time for the FIFA World Cup next summer.
It clearly is the right thing to do. We have far more people than our streets were designed for, and we have only 2 choices. We can have everybody sit in gridlock, or we can get most trips happen without a personal vehicle.
The move is part of the city's rapid TO plan, which would convert the curbside lanes to dedicated TTC lanes along Dufferin from King Street to Bloor and the center lanes along Bathurst from Lakeshore to Bloor. The original plan would have seen the dedicated TTC lanes extend as far north as Eglinton Avenue West. City staff revised the plan to a smaller section of each street. Still, there are some councillors who say this is the wrong way forward.
Well, it's just using FIFA as an excuse to have more war in the car. And, you know, I think council has a trade before it. It's looking to close down a couple of lanes on two really busy streets, and that's going to have a profound impact to local businesses, to residents, and people that are accessing the downtown core.
With Brad Bradford arguing these lanes should be temporary.
We should be taking the same approach that we did during the Pan Am Games back in 2015, where temporary transportation solutions were implemented on a temporary base to deal with the increased demand and capacity requirements during a type of global event like World Cup.
There's some councillors that are against everything.
Councillor Alejandro Bravo, whose ward includes Dufferin, says improving gridlock requires action and accuses opposing councillors of using this as a political tool.
They're launching maybe campaigns later. They want to define debates as, you know, transit riders versus people in cars. And I can tell you, if they knocked on doors with me on Dufferin, many people who have a car, sometimes drive or drive often, also want to see changes on Dufferin.
And there still remains the possibility that these lanes could extend farther north after the World Cup. And speaking of the World Cup, Council was debating today whether they think they got the best deal going into that World Cup. Another item that was on the agenda today, talking about winter snow maintenance. There's been a lot of focus on the last few days on winter snow maintenance and what they will do going forward. Council has adjourned for the night, and they'll resume tomorrow morning. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. In Mississauga, one person is dead after a crash. It happened near Cawthra and Dundas shortly after 4:30 this morning. A man was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries, where he later died. So far, investigators haven't shared any other details about the victim. There's also no word on the cause of the crash, with witnesses saying they often see drivers speeding in the area.
This is like a race course here. They tried to remedy the situation by putting the lights up further for the concrete factory, but that doesn't help.
No, but at nighttime around this area, that's when you get it, not during the day. You know, there's a lot of fast driving in Mississauga at night.
Peel police are asking anyone with information or dash cam footage to come forward.
There is a new appeal from police tonight to catch a pair of suspected arsonists.
Investigators have released new photos of two men believed to have torched two restaurants in Scarborough. CTV's Allison Hurst joins us live from police headquarters with the details. Allison.
Police have released these two images of suspects who they describe as tall, thin-build, both male, and last seen wearing dark clothing. And they say that the vehicle in the two arson investigations is the same one, a silver SUV with a purple light on the dash on the driver's side. And now police are appealing to the public to try and ID them.
Toronto police are releasing new images of two suspects in two arson investigations.
The method they used in both of these is that they smashed the windows and then poured gasoline. So clearly seen on video that this was occurring, and that is same in both the arsons.
The fires happened 2 months ago, about 24 hours apart in Scarborough near Kennedy and Lawrence. The first at Shaw's Indian Cuisine was on Friday, May 23rd, just after 2:45 a.m. And the second was just after 3:30 the next morning at another Indian restaurant named BCBC.
The investigation is still ongoing, and we're really not too sure what prompted these individuals to target these two restaurants.
CTV News obtained surveillance footage outside BCBC showing two suspects breaking a window. Seconds later, they come back out. One of them lights a small flame and throws it as the other runs to a waiting vehicle carrying a gas can.
They took off in a gray-silver type vehicle. So the vehicle is also the same vehicle in both occurrences.
Both locations have the same owners. Staff at Shaw's say they just finished setting up for the next day and were about to sit down for a meal when the fire started.
When I went there, what I saw was gasoline all over the floor. One of them were recording. One of them were like they grabbed a tire and put it on fire.
Surveillance footage outside that incident obtained by CTV News shows someone standing and recording the incident.
These people don't care about the humanity.
Today, both restaurants remain closed, severely gutted, and behind boards and caution tape as police hunt the suspected arsonists.
And police are hoping that someone in the public will recognize the suspects. They're also asking anyone who may have been in the area 2 months ago, has any dash cam footage, to contact them. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Natalie, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Allison. Provincial police are looking for suspects accused of an attempted carjacking on a busy Toronto highway. Toronto OPP shared these images of a blue Honda Civic on Highway 401. They allege that around 9:10 p.m. last Thursday, the suspects used that car to rear-end a Porsche in the westbound collector lanes at Leslie Street. Police say the victim pulled over to the right shoulder and exited their vehicle after they were hit.
3 suspects approached the victim, 1 assaulting the victim, causing the victim to leave on foot. 2 suspects returned to the blue Honda Civic and fled the scene. The victim returned to their vehicle, causing the 1 last suspect to flee on foot.
The victim sustained minor injuries. Police have described the suspects as wearing surgical masks in the age range of mid-teens to early 20s. They're asking witnesses or anyone with footage or information to reach out.
Out west, 3 workers trapped underground at a BC mine have enough air, water, and food for what officials call an extended stay. They became stranded yesterday after 2 incidents at the Red Chris mine in the northwest area of the province. The workers are now in an area where they have access to refugee bays, each equipped to support about 16 people for 3 days. They moved there after the first rock fall, but before the second collapse blocked their escape. Rescue teams from nearby mine sites are being assembled to respond to the accident. 2 of the workers are from BC, the others from Ontario. Communication is restricted, but nobody is hurt.
Canada's premiers met for the final day of their summit in Cottage Country today, where they have worked to shore up the economy by removing interprovincial trade barriers and boosting business with other countries.
Talks today shifted to healthcare and public safety. CTV's Rachel Aiello's in Huntsville with a summary of what was discussed and accomplished.
Premiers wrapped 3 days of talks about building up the economy and tearing down internal trade barriers united against a common enemy.
We have a crisis in Canada about Donald Trump attacking us. We're trying to protect our economy.
With a former ambassador who briefed premiers yesterday revealing today that reaching a deal by August 1st is highly unlikely.
It's complex and it may take longer, and I think it probably will.
One premier conceded that they'd now consider an agreement on sectoral irritants, such as autos and lumber, in the next 9 days, a win.
I mean, I'm watching Truth Social along with everyone else because things could change in 5 minutes.
Premiers also committed to taking at least 1 trade mission to another province or territory in the coming year.
We have our points of disagreement, but there are far more points of agreement in terms of how we're going to build our economies in our respective provinces.
And while the trade war with the U.S. dominated this week's discussions, today premiers also carved out time to tackle a pair of other pressing domestic issues. Public safety, including pushing the Prime Minister on bail reform.
We need to, greatly stiffen the sentence, not only for those repeat offenders, but for those that are bringing these poisonous drugs into our communities across Canada.
And strengthening Canada's strained healthcare system.
If we want to say that we're standing up to Donald Trump and we're never going to be the 51st state, let's make sure that our universal healthcare system is strong.
While Canada's premiers and the Prime Minister have come away from these talks largely on the same page, when it comes to fixing the immigration system, Premier Ford made it clear today he thinks the federal government has more work to do. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Huntsville, Ontario.
There has been some relief on the markets following Donald Trump's announcement of a deal to reduce tariffs on Japanese goods. But how does this play into Canada's negotiations and the health of the auto industry? CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
CTV News caught up with the Canadian Automobile Dealers Association in between meetings on Capitol Hill. Hugh Williams has logged more than 30 with lawmakers and the U.S. administration and is feeling encouraged about a trade deal, but not for the August 1st deadline.
Senior senators, have given us the pathfinding that they're optimistic that we're going to have some framework of a deal that will resolve the trading problems between our nations, ideally by Labor Day.
He says it would be unreasonable for Canada to have an agreement that looks worse than the new U.S.-Japan deal that sees auto tariffs cut to 15% from 27.5%.
That deal has a lot of attention in the Senate and congressional leaders that we've been talking to. And I think that the prevailing view is that Canada should have a better deal.
President Trump is finally putting a stop to our country getting ripped off.
But this week, as a result of Trump's tariffs, General Motors reported a 35% decline in second quarter profits with more hard times ahead, and Stellantis a $2.7 billion net loss in the first half of the year.
We're down about 30% in exports already this year from Canada in vehicles.
Flavio Volpe says he's taken aback by the 15% the Japanese agreed to, and it wouldn't work for Canada.
It's a bad deal. Better to slog it out than to lock in bad terms in the long term.
But it's still a good, valuable piece of insight into what might be achievable and what's the U.S. kind of baseline minimum tariff that might have to stick.
And this afternoon, multiple reports that the European Union is heading towards a similar tariff deal with the U.S. than Japan, a 15% tariff on EU imports into the United States, including autos. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa. Some federal funding for Toronto housing could be in jeopardy. Ottawa says the city is falling short on its promise to ramp up density. In a letter to the mayor this week, the federal housing minister said he is disappointed by a recent decision to limit where builders can put up to 6 housing units on a lot. Last month, Toronto Council introduced a plan that would see some wards sign up to the sixplex framework, while others would have the choice to opt in later. Now, the federal government is urging the city to revisit that decision over the next 5 months or potentially lose some of the funding if the terms of the original agreement have not been met.
A ruling is expected in London tomorrow in the sex assault trial of 5 former players from Canada's 2018 World Junior team. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has a recap ahead of Thursday's judicial decision.
From teammates to champions to defendants accused of sexual assault.
This has been one of the most high-profile cases that we've seen in quite some time.
June 18th, 2018, following a Hockey Canada gala, a group of World Junior teammates meet a 20-year-old here inside this London, Ontario bar. Following a night of drinking and dancing, the young woman arrived here at this downtown hotel with Michael McLeod, where they had consensual sex. What happens next has been closely scrutinized. The verdicts now hinge on the legal meaning of one word.
This trial comes down to consent, whether the complainant consented to the sexual activity that did take place.
The young woman, who we can only identify as EM, claims that after having sex with McLeod, multiple players entered and, quote, manipulated and intimidated her into remaining in this hotel room where she says she was sexually assaulted.
And just said, like, are you okay with this? And she said yes.
The court has been shown a text message from McLeod inviting teammates to room 209 for a, quote, three-way, something he didn't share with investigators when he spoke to London police in 2018.
She got on the bed and said, who wants to have sex with me?
It's not just the interviews and testimony in this trial that have been shocking. April 23rd, just 2 days into the trial, a member of the jury claims that over the lunch break here inside this market, they had an inappropriate conversation with one of the defense lawyers for Alex Fermenton. A mistrial is declared. The jury is scrapped. May 26th, a second jury is dismissed here at the courthouse after Alex Fermenton's defense team are accused by jurors of laughing and making them feel uncomfortable, something the lawyers in question deny. Still, the jury is sent home. The proceedings continue as a judge-alone trial.
It's exceptionally rare for that to happen twice in one trial. It's not something that I've seen before.
Former World Junior team captain Dylan Dubé, Cal Foote, Carter Hart, Michael McLeod, and Alex Fermenton have each been charged with sexual assault. McLeod is also facing one charge of being party to the offense. With the verdicts now being delivered by a single judge instead of a jury, the public will receive a reason for the decision, which is also expected to be shared tomorrow. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, London, Ontario.
In the Gaza Strip, health officials say Israeli strikes killed 21 people overnight and into today. They included attacks in Gaza City and elsewhere in the northern part of the territory. Meanwhile, 115 charity and human rights groups said today that Israel's blockade and ongoing military offensive are pushing Palestinians towards starvation. In an open letter, they blame Israeli restrictions and what they call massacres at aid distribution points. Israel rejected the criticism, accusing the groups of echoing Hamas propaganda. The Israelis insist they are allowing enough aid into the territory and fault delivery efforts by UN agencies.
As expected, there was no breakthrough to stop the fighting when Ukrainian and Russian delegations met for a new round of talks in Istanbul today. The two sides agreed to exchange more prisoners of war, and Russia said it was ready to hand over the bodies of 3,000 fallen soldiers. The meeting reportedly lasted less than an hour. Ukraine suggested there should be a leaders' summit by the end of August. They say they're ready for a ceasefire and called on Moscow to demonstrate a constructive and realistic approach. But the Russians said such a summit should only be used for signing documents, not for holding discussions.
In The Hague, the World Court has issued an advisory opinion related to the obligation of countries to fight climate change.
Unanimously is of the opinion that states have obligations under international human rights law to respect and ensure the effective enjoyment of human rights by taking necessary measures to protect the climate system and other parts of the environment.
The non-binding opinion by the UN's top court says it is a breach of international law for nations to fail to comply with climate change treaties, and countries harmed by its effects could be entitled to reparations. The case was led by the Pacific Island nation of Vanuatu and backed by more than 130 nations.
The Prime Minister traveled to the Northwest Territories today, where he's visiting the town where he was born. This is the house where Mark Carney spent his early childhood in Fort Smith, south of Yellowknife. The PM scheduled to speak with residents about affordability challenges and the impact of wildfires. He's also visiting Inuvik in the territory's northwest corner. Tomorrow, Carney will co-host the Inuit Crown Partnership Committee regarding Ottawa's major projects bill.
Also tonight, eyes on the sky in Manitoba. Farmers forecast an agricultural emergency as a drought drags on. What it means for your produce prices, just ahead.
Well, here comes the humidity again. We've got a little bit of a heat dome happening stateside, and yeah, that warmth is headed our way here in southern Ontario. Here's the thing, though, the weekend is actually looking quite lovely. So we just have to get through Thursday and Friday. There's a look at the core temperatures. It's worth pointing out, though, that Thursday night we've got an elevated risk of thunderstorms, and then a few showers could follow us into the day on Friday. But Friday, not expected to be a washout. We're going to talk about that and the relief that looks to come this weekend coming up. Stay with us. We've also got a full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
A lack of rain and hot conditions is having a massive impact on farmers in Manitoba.
Communities in that province are now declaring states of emergency as crops are being heavily affected. CTV's Alex Carpa reports on what impact this could have on consumers.
This corn should be considerably higher than this.
Lyle Thorgilson has not seen his fields this bad in years. Drought conditions in Manitoba are severely impacting his crops.
You can see the yellowing of the plant here and stuff. That's drought stress.
For perspective, this is what Thorgilson's cornfield looked like in 2023. And this is what it looks like now. Significant damage done due to little rain.
It's probably one of the tougher crops, and there's still maybe hope that we can get some tonnage out of it for feed for the cattle. But yeah, it's stunted for sure.
From a distance, this oat field looks like it's thriving, but in reality, as you can see, it's not. In parts of this field, the oat is barely growing, a problem that many farmers are dealing with right across the province. 2 rural municipalities in the province declared states of emergency last week due to the agricultural disaster.
It's not good, and we need a lot of rain.
It's not just farmers in Manitoba hurting, so too are many in Saskatchewan, with communities in that province also declaring states of emergencies. Virgil Johnson says it's not just people who will be affected, but livestock too.
We're not sure how far-reaching these conditions are, and where the local producers are going to be able to source feed to carry them through the winter to maintain the herds they have.
In addition to the drought, smoke from wildfires could gravely impact food products moving forward, but one expert says it's too early to tell how this will affect consumers at the grocery store.
Smoke could actually impact the quality of grains at harvest, and that could also impact the revenues of farmers in the end, and they could get less money for their product.
We've had to put more money into these crops than usual.
As for Thorgilson, he is praying more rain falls so he can salvage some of his crop. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Lundar, Manitoba.
Well, of course, we know that we're going to be getting some pretty hot conditions here. That might also be a concern for farmers.
Yeah, we will get a bit of rain. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lindsay, possibly. So good for the garden for us.
Yeah. You know, we could get some thunderstorm rain, which, as we know, can be a lot of rain all at once. Interestingly enough, we have had more rain this July than average in the city of Toronto. But again, it happened in a very quick, short period of time. What we need, I think what many lawns need, is a long overnight, steady, light to moderate rainfall. That's not necessarily in the forecast, but we do have some active weather that we need to talk about. First, here's a look at earlier today. It's been several days without rain here in the city of Toronto. Last time we had significant rain was very early Sunday morning. It's been lovely, though, with lots of sunshine, nice and cool the last couple of mornings, dare I say, relatively speaking, of course. Tomorrow, not going to be so cool in our neck of the woods. In fact, it's going to be hot and it's going to be humid. It is sweltering right now in some parts of the United States, especially in the south and across the U.S. Midwest. We're talking humidex values near 50 in some areas. It's not going to be quite that muggy here at home, but we are under a heat warning. And as you can see, that heat's starting to impact extreme southwest Ontario. It feels like 29 this hour in Toronto. Temperature a little bit warmer today than it's been the last couple of days. And this is the first indication that a heat event is starting to happen here in the GTA. Our overnight low is going to be about 20 degrees. So that's entering uncomfortable for sleeping territory. And then tomorrow, 34 degrees, humidex 42, and some areas it's going to feel into the mid-40s. Sun is going to rise a couple of minutes before 6 a.m. And then there's a whole lot of daytime heating that's going to happen. So this heat warning in place from Toronto over toward Hamilton and then into Niagara region. And it's for your Thursday and also your Friday. Friday's temperature isn't going to be as hot, but it is still going to be quite muggy. Couple that with the fact that we've had all this sunshine. We're going to be at a 9 on the UV index for tomorrow. So if you are planning on venturing out and beating the heat, make sure you are protecting yourself from the sun's rays. A little peek outside of the GTA shows you that, yeah, temperatures are going to be anywhere from approximately 32 to even 35 degrees in some areas. And you might notice that thunderstorm icon there in the Huntsville area. So let's talk about that next. We've had high pressure dominating, and that has meant an absence of active weather and a whole lot of sunshine. It's been lovely, but if you need the rain, here's what's coming. This area of active weather has essentially been stalled in through northern parts of Ontario. Now these fronts are going to start to slump southward, and with it we could experience a few severe thunderstorms during the daytime hours tomorrow, perhaps across the Nickel Belt region. For us, though, a line of storms looks like it could weaken by the time it reaches us tomorrow night. So there's about 9 p.m., just a heads up if you do have outdoor Thursday evening plans. This moves on through. Overnight we could see some passing pop-up showers into your Friday morning. I don't think Friday is going to be a washout. In fact, we should see some clearing as we make our way into the afternoon and then evening. We'll hold on to the chance of showers. Saturday looks like it could bring us a little bit in the way of cloud cover, but we're also going to cool down a bit. So 27 degrees for Saturday, 25 on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud. We are back up around 30 degrees, 31 in fact for the high by next Monday. That's the forecast for now. Natalie, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, heavy hearts for the godfather of heavy metal. Rock stars continue to pay tribute for Black Sabbath frontman Ozzy Osbourne. That's just ahead. The Ontario Hospital Association is out with a new report that reveals a looming concern for the sector.
The report says hospitals in this province lead the country when it comes to running efficiently, but that trend won't be able to last without major changes. The report says Ontario spends just over $1,900 per person on hospital funding annually, the lowest of any province. The OHA suggests the province would have to spend another $4.4 billion per year to match the average spending in the rest of Canada. But the report says maintaining that performance will require system-wide planning, investment, and innovation, especially as the population grows and ages.
So traditional approaches like trying to reduce administrative costs, relying on changing scope of practice or allowing more and more health professionals to work to the maximum scope of their abilities, using traditional kind of models of care to try and reduce those costs, those are probably at their outer limit now.
The OHA says ensuring efficiency at hospitals means lower costs and more available funds for other public sector priorities. The province says it's making historic investments in healthcare while pointing to the need to innovate in the sector.
City Council today approved the appointment of Toronto's next top public health official. Dr. Michelle Murty is set to take over as Toronto's new medical officer of health in September. At the moment, Dr. Murty serves as Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health for Ontario. She has also held public health leadership roles in BC and the Northwest Territories. Dr. Murty says she looks forward to working to protect and improve health, reduce health inequities, and, quote, make Toronto a healthy and resilient place where we can all live, work, and play.
A guilty plea today from one of the doctors charged in the death of Friends star Matthew Perry. Dr. Salvador Plasencia has pleaded guilty to 4 counts of distributing ketamine in connection to the actor's death. Perry was discovered in the hot tub of his LA home in 2023. Another doctor charged in the case, known as the Ketamine Queen, is accused of selling Perry the lethal dose of the anesthetic. She's the only one set to go to trial in August. 4 of the accused have now pleaded guilty.
As fans and fellow musicians across the globe mourn the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, many in his hometown of Birmingham turned out today to pay their respects.
Ozzy means metal, Ozzy means aura, Ozzy means never give up, because at that concert he was suffering, but he gave us the best set list and he gave us the performance of a lifetime.
They're progenitors of the music I listen to. Without them, I wouldn't have nothing. So it's like losing a family member in a way.
Fans laid flowers, cards, and signs at Black Sabbath Bridge, named after the late Rockers band. Meanwhile, Coldplay last night dedicated their show in Nashville to the self-styled Prince of Darkness. The band covered Black Sabbath's Changes during their set. After the song, Chris Martin said, "Ozzy, we love you wherever you're going." Lady Gaga also honored the metal legend during her Mayhem Ball tour in San Francisco, ending the show with Osbourne's hit Crazy Train. Ozzy Osbourne's death was announced yesterday at age 76.
The Toronto International Film Festival is unveiling more of its lineup as it counts down to its 50th anniversary edition in September. Organizers announced the 2025 Discovery Program, which shines a spotlight on emerging filmmakers from around the globe. The selection will kick off with its opening night film, Maddie's Secret, the directorial debut of comedian John Early. Also on the list, the world premieres of movies like Julian by Belgian-Dutch director Cato Custers and Dinner with Friends from Canada's Sacha Leigh Henry. This year's TIFF is slated to take place from September 4 through the 14th.
A new documentary is debuting at Hot Dog Cinema called Carnival, They Can't Steal Our Joy.
That our story begins on a beautiful Caribbean island. But I have to start here, in a place you may have seen before.
The film takes a look at the cultural, historical, and emotional impact Caribbean carnivals have around the globe and right here in Toronto. CB24 Breakfast sat down with the filmmaker to learn about his inspiration for making the documentary.
The story comes from me being part of Carnival for about 10, 15 years, and I've interacted with a lot of people in my time during Carnival, but there is this particular moment when I was on the road in Toronto about a woman who told me Carnival saved her life from cancer.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, what do you mean by that? Mm-hmm. Like, as a creative person, you are intrigued, you are asking yourself, what does that mean?
Carnival, They Can't Steal Our Joy premieres at Hot Dog Cinema tomorrow.
After the break, the Blue Jays look to bounce back after winning a record-breaking 11 straight at home. A preview of tonight's rubber match against the Yankees just ahead.
It's scary because look at us. We're living right underneath this.
Updating our top stories, Peel police are investigating a pair of violent incidents at a Brampton law firm. First, yesterday, police responded to the offices near Queen Street West and George Street North for a shooting. A source confirmed to CTV News that criminal defense lawyer Manbir Sodi was the victim. Paramedics said he's expected to survive. And then today, residents in the building above the law firm say they were woken up by fire alarms early this morning. What looked like burned files and computer equipment were visible there today.
not too sure what prompted these individuals to target these two restaurants.
Toronto police have shared images of two suspects wanted in connection with two suspected arsons in Scarborough. The fires happened 2 months ago, about 24 hours apart in Scarborough near Kennedy and Lawrence. The targets were Indian restaurants Shaz Indian Cuisine and BCBC. No injuries were reported, but both restaurants remain closed as the investigation continues.
I support rapid TO dedicated bus lanes. I support more transit to get people moving.
Oh, it's just using FIFA as an excuse to have more war in the car.
And Toronto City Council has voted to move forward with dedicated transit lanes on parts of Bathurst and Dufferin, south of Bloor. Critics say the step will hurt businesses and residents who rely on car traffic. Supporters say the changes will benefit transit riders and motorists.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca and by downloading the CTV News app. And if you have a news tip, photo, or video of breaking news, let us know.
Canadian and U.S. stocks hit another record today after Washington announced a trade understanding with Japan. BNN Bloomberg's Andrew Bell has the latest in business.
Hello there. The Toronto Composite and S&P 500 stock indexes closed at new record highs today, lifted by signs of progress on the trade front. Under an accord with Japan, U.S. tariffs on Japanese cars will be lowered to 15%. And Japan will also supposedly invest $550 billion U.S. in the American economy. Detroit car makers blasted the auto deal. Their lobby group warned, quote, any deal that charges a lower tariff for Japanese imports with virtually no U.S. content than the tariff imposed on North American-built vehicles is a bad deal. However, investors hope that a broad lowering of tariffs will help U.S. car companies too, because they have a significant presence in Canada and Mexico. The Canadian dollar changed hands at 73.55 U.S. cents, up a fraction. West Texas Intermediate oil traded at $65.25 U.S. a barrel, down 6 cents. Our latest fix on Western Canadian Select oil has it at $53.20, down 40 cents. And the TSX Composite ended at its new record high, 27,416.41, up just under 52 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The province has announced new funding to grow Ontario's critical minerals supply chain. The Ministry of Energy and Mines says it is launching a new intake of applications for its Critical Minerals Innovation Fund. $7 million will go towards supporting projects in areas like finding new techniques for deep exploration and mining, the recovery of minerals, and the battery supply chain. The province says the step comes as global demand soars for critical minerals and as U.S. tariffs target Canada's mining and manufacturing sectors.
One of Canada's most successful tennis players is calling it a career. Vasek Pospisil will retire after the National Bank Open in Toronto.
A lot of injuries, the body's breaking down at 35, and that's one of the main factors. But also, you just burn out eventually. I mean, you put your body and mind through a lot, and you're traveling, 11 months of the year away from friends and family, and doing that for 18 years professionally. Eventually, you get tired, and there's only so much you can ask of yourself. So it's just the right time overall to step away, I think.
Pospisil says he feels incredibly grateful for the career he's had. The 35-year-old from Vernon, BC has won 6 doubles titles on the ATP Tour, including Wimbledon, and represented Canada twice at the Olympics. Pospisil also played for his country numerous times at the Davis Cup. He co-founded the Professional Tennis Players Association in 2019 with Novak Djokovic.
The Toronto Blue Jays host New York tonight in the rubber match of their 3-series game.
High in the air, deep right field. And it is gone.
Ben Rice's 9th inning homer lifted the Yankees to a 5-4 win last night. It snapped Toronto's franchise record 11-game home winning streak and moved New York to within 3 games of Toronto for the American League East lead. Chris Bassett gets the start for the Jays this evening.
And just ahead, Major League eating. Blue Jay fans break their record for most hot dogs consumed in a single night. The Looney Dog Night numbers coming up.
tonight. Concert controversy.
We just don't feel that that's where Canadians want to go. And if this gentleman wants to promote that message, he's welcome to do that in his own country.
Where Parks Canada pulled the plug on a permit for an American musician and why. Later on CTV National News.
And a reminder, the CTV News at 6 podcast is available as a download every weeknight. And a special hello to those of you listening to the newscast live on News Talk 1010. As we saw earlier, the Toronto Blue Jays lost to the Yankees last night.
But the organization was a big winner at the concession stand. It set a single game record for hot dog sales at the ballpark. Fans bought more than 84,700 loony dogs, and that surpassed the previous record of more than 76,600 set in 2023. $1 hot dogs are available during every Tuesday game at Rogers Centre, and it's been a huge success. Setting a new record last night was no doubt helped by the fact there was a big crowd on hand for a crucial series against the New York Yankees as both teams square off in what's quickly becoming a pennant race. I wonder if Joey Chestnut was there. You know that guy who eats all them hot dogs?
Yeah, he would have
Probably
contributed to the tally, that's for sure. How many dogs would you get if you were at the game?
For a loony?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It's meant 5.
Yeah. I'll start with 3. Let's see how we do. Let's take one more look at the weather for tonight. We are under a heat warning here in the city of Toronto. This is more so for the weather that's going to be impacting us tomorrow and Friday. But overnight tonight, we are not so low at 20 degrees. Here's your golfer's forecast for tomorrow. I do want to remind you that there's a risk of thunderstorms into tomorrow night and then perhaps into Friday as well. But the weekend looks great. It looks a little more comfortable with a mix of sun and cloud. But again, heads up for active weather Thursday night and Friday morning. Natalie and Nathan.
Thank you, Lindsay. Be sure to join Anne-Marie Medaweg tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with our next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thank you for watching and have a good night.